Anyone who has that privilege to pass through Kuto is destined to be great. It is better to train a goat than to train a human being.
It was my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who defined leadership as the ability to inspire and stay right in the group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation.
Everyone was seeing my fine suit, but nobody knew that it was 100 naira I had in my pocket.
You can live without mentoring, but you can never mentor without leading.
You can be a solution to any problem, even the one that your background brings to you.
So you want to find out, where am I going in the future? Who would I want to become in the future? It doesn't matter the background that you come from.
How do you do it?
It is our blood that gives value to our nation. For as long as you are unwilling to shed your blood for your country has no value.
Anyone who has that privilege to pass through Kuto is destined to be great. It is better to train a goat than to train a human being.
It was my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who defined leadership as the ability to inspire and stay right in the group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation.
Everyone was seeing my fine suit, but nobody knew that it was 100 naira I had in my pocket.
You can live without mentoring, but you can never mentor without leading.
You can be a solution to any problem, even the one that your background brings to you.
So you want to find out, where am I going in the future? Who would I want to become in the future? It doesn't matter the background that you come from.
How do you do it?
It is our blood that gives value to our nation. For as long as you are unwilling to shed your blood for your country has no value.
Anyone who has that privilege to pass through Kuto is destined to be great. It is better to train a goat than to train a human being.
It was my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who defined leadership as the ability to inspire and stay right in the group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation.
Everyone was seeing my fine suit, but nobody knew that it was 100 naira I had in my pocket.
You can live without mentoring, but you can never mentor without leading.
You can be a solution to any problem, even the one that your background brings to you.
So you want to find out, where am I going in the future? Who would I want to become in the future? It doesn't matter the background that you come from.
How do you do it?
It is our blood that gives value to our nation. For as long as you are unwilling to shed your blood for your country has no value.
Oh, wow. Good evening, everybody. Good evening from Nigeria. Good evening, especially specifically from the city of Owerri here in Imo State, Nigeria. Thank you. You must have seen the clips, and I believe that the short clips that you watched were very inspiring and very alluring. And you must understand the fact that if you want to truly be a great leader, or you want to be someone that transforms a society, then you must have conversations. Conversations happen when human beings gather in conferences, at seminars, at boot camps, conclaves especially, and then you get to have these conversations. But the truth is that to be able to host these conferences is truly a lot of work. I host conferences. The last conference I had on my birthday was a 1,500 seater hall, and the hall was packed out to the full. I mean, I spent about 3 months preparing for that particular conference, and it always comes with anxiety, with stress, with lots of running around, lots of managing people, and most importantly, also money. There's money has to go in to rent the hall, to do all the marketing, to get your speakers to arrive and speak at the event, and a whole lot of things. But tonight, I don't teach it yet. I don't teach how to host conferences. But tonight, I have a young man with me who has done this severally over the years. He has been hosting conferences, and I've had packed out auditoriums. And I remember the last conference he had, or last year or 2 years ago, where he was to host a conference inside a university, and it was during the strike. And I was thinking in my head, I was supposed to speak at that event, but I fell ill on the day of the event, so I couldn't attend that particular edition of his conference. And I was wondering in my head, this guy had done billboards, had inaugurated teams, and it was strike. I mean, nobody expected there will be strike, because when you fix a date, you just go ahead to do your marketing and your planning. And then strike happened. And I was thinking, maybe he will cancel it, or whether they will postpone it. But he went ahead to say that the conference would hold. I mean, quite audacious. And on that very day, the hall was packed to the brim. Students were on strike, but they came out for that. I don't know, did they travel from their homes, or I don't know how he did it. And the conference was a remarkable success. Tonight, I have with me, this evening, I have with me Samuel Isiwu. He is here. He's an amazing conference host, and he's going to be sharing with us for the next 35 minutes how he has been able to host profitable conferences. So if you're here joining us, please let's see your name in the comment section. Put your name in the comment section, put your location, and put what you do. So your name, location, and what you do. Put the comment in the comment section, and I can tap on it, and then it can appear on the screen. People would see who you are, see where you're located. You may never tell. Someone can connect to you, and they can have amazing collaboration. All right. So we have Samuel tonight. And please, one other thing I want you to do, go ahead and share this live stream. Let all the people partake of the greatness of this live stream. What is going to be sharing. If you are someone in the knowledge space, you're a thought leader, you're a conference speaker, you are a trainer, you're a consultant, you're a coach, hosting your own conference is a great way to build leverage. It's a great way to build your brand. It's a great way to expose your brand. And most importantly, it's a great way to turn lives around and leave a legacy. All right. So invite your friends, share the live stream, invite them to be part of this live stream, and let them come to benefit. I've sent messages to my Instagram, my Telegram channel, and I hope that they will join us. And then just tag your friends, tag them to come join us for this live stream. So once more, before I bring Samuel to go ahead to share, Please put your name, put your location, and what you do in the comment section. Number 2, share the live stream so that other individuals can also partake of what we are doing tonight. All right. So I can see individuals already joining. Oluwaseun from Abuja, a female enthusiast, hosts talk show and conferences for the female folk. Chidebere Anyanwu, based in Enugu, sales and marketing strategist. All right, so other guys, please drop your comment in the comment section, your name, what you do, where you're from, and so that people can, what you do, sorry, so that people can see you and connect with you. All right. Okay, so let me make welcome Samuel. Samuel, you are welcome. Thank you for coming on this live stream to teach how we can host profitable conferences. So over to you now. Go ahead and share with us. You've got a screen. Share with us from the depth of your heart, and let's know what you have been doing. And then when you're done sharing, we will come back for questions. I have questions for you, and then other people can also ask you questions. Thank you so much. Over to you right now.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate the opportunity to come on live. I don't take this for granted at all. Thank you so much. It's been more than 6 years, hosting conferences and hosting events generally, because for me, I'm passionate about leadership development. I'm passionate about helping people become better and, helping them to become better leaders for the development of society. And ever since I caught the vision to start to do this work that I do, I've been part of a lot of events. I've volunteered for events. I've been part of communities. I've organized events at different times in my life. And the beautiful thing is, a lot of my friends, have asked me several times, how I was able to do this. There's a story I always say, when I'm speaking to people who want to organize events. I've never had any event where there was an empty hall. All the events I have hosted in my life, the halls were filled to the brim. And the first event I ever hosted was a paid event. So I don't have an experience of, somebody saying, you know what, I tried and I failed. I've heard a lot of people, respectfully, I've heard a lot of people host events, talk about their story. The first time they held an event, only 2 people came or only 3 persons attended. The other people were their friends who came to support them. No, I've not had that experience. The first event I ever hosted in my life as a newbie, it was not even a free event. It was a paid event. People paid tickets to attend, and the hall was packed, and there were people standing. So before I hosted that event, it was not by chance. It was not by luck. I knew what I did to make it happen. And consistently, I've only hosted 2 free conferences in my life in the last 6 years. All of them were paid. All other conferences have been paid. And people have paid for all of them. Halls packed full. So I want to just share briefly on, all the things I have done to make this happen for 7 years. I felt a lot of people have been asking me, so many people asking, so come and tell your story. Have you been able to share these strategies? And that's why I'm here to share the strategies. And for me, I'll first of all start by saying, there are just 6 things that makes conferences work or events. 6 things that make events work. And anybody who's ready to host a successful event or a conference must understand these 6 things. Very simple. It might sound simple, but you have to put in the work. But they are simple things that many people might just also find familiar. All right. I'll list all of them, and these are also part of the course mode. These are also part of the things I'm going to be sharing in my training for this particular course. Yeah. So 6 things. Number 1 is self-engineering. So if you want to host a successful event, the first thing you must understand, I'm going to talk briefly on all of these 6 things. The first thing you must understand is self-engineering. Yeah. Second thing is team formation. Self-engineering, team formation. The third thing, the third secret, is speaker lineup. The perfect speaker lineup. That's it. That's number 3. Number 4 is branding, marketing. and publicity strategy. Number 5 is mobilizing. And number 6 is funding. There are 6 in number, so I can run through it again if you didn't get that. The first thing is self-engineering. Number 2 is team formation. Number 3 is speaker lineup. Number 4, branding, marketing, and publicity strategy. Number 5 is mobilizing, and number 6 is funding. So the first thing I want to talk about is that if you must host a successful event, conference, workshop, or meeting, or seminar, whatever it is, self-engineering is important. This talks about how how you position yourself to even desire the result. So if you must host a successful event, or if you must do anything successful, you must desire to make, so you want to host a successful event, you must start having a desire. So for example, a young man who wants to get married, you want to ask a girl out, the first thing that happens to you is self-engineering. You see some guys, they want to ask a girl out, they go to Google, and they start typing. Maybe I'm speaking from experience, but they start typing questions to ask a girl on the first date, questions to ask her on the first meeting. Okay, what punchlines I can tell her when I meet her. You see how you are positioning yourself. You want to know the right things to say. You start thinking about what you wear. You start thinking about how you are going to look. Some guys, they start to have a nice haircut. Maybe a beautiful girl just moved into your area, for example, or where you stay. You start having a nice haircut. You see what happens to you. You start dressing well. I saw something online. They say when your crush moves into your streets, some guys start to wear suits to buy bread. It happens. Somebody's are wearing suits to buy bread and sugar because you are going to pass her house so she can see you. You see, there's a lot of self-engineering going on. You are repositioning your life. Some people start to retouch their diction so that they can speak well and impress a woman. That's the first thing. So the idea is that you want to successfully ask a woman out. So you are repositioning yourself, your mindset. You're already thinking about her every day. You are thinking about what you want to say. You are calculating your words. That's it. That's the first thing. So self-engineering, the desire to host a conference comes on you. Before I hosted my first ever biggest conference, was in the largest conference I ever hosted was in 2022. That was the Mega Student Leadership Conference. That was one Mr. Emeka Nubis talked about. We did it in the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. That was the biggest. But before then, I've been hosting mini events, 500 people, 200 people, 100 people. The least is 100. 100%. The least event the number of persons I've had for my events is 100%. And I specifically wanted 100. That's why I got 100. So before I even hosted this big edition last year, I spent 4 years preparing for it. So, and the idea came in 2018. I started to desire it. I attended so many big conferences. There's a conference in Warri where I grew up. I grew up in Warri. There's a conference that happens every year, Aspire Global. They brought some of the biggest people in the world, in Nigeria, sorry. The RMD has been there, Alibaba has been there. When I attended the conference, that was in 2018, I said, I want to host something like this in Owerri. The desire came, I started having the desire. I attended other conferences. When I was seeing, I like, so one gift that I was born with is the gift of mobilizing people. So I like bringing people together. So when I see crowd, and even though I go to the market, when I see people in the market, the next thing that comes into my mind is a conference. Can these people come into a hall right now and let's start speaking to them? That's my mindset. So the desire. And one thing that desire does for you is that it now gives you vision. The next thing that happens is that you start to see. So what I did was that from 2018, every day I sit down, even before I host any conference at all. Even though I'm hosting a conference in Warri in December and in Port Harcourt in January. Well, I started down every night. I sit down and I just start to imagine all of the people who will come in. I imagine people walking in through the door. as so I don't know if it's petty, but that's what I do. I sit down and I just start to imagine people walking through the door, doing registrations. I close my eyes and people are signing up. I see people moving in. I just start to see all those things. I see my speakers are invited, climbing, mounting the stage. I'm envisioning the whole process in my mind. What it does is it starts to attract the energy you need to host the conference. This part is very important because when you are in the process of hosting your event, a lot of tough times are you are going to lack money, you're going to lack funding at some point, unless you are rich. So, but for young people who are just starting, you might not have the funding at the initial time of planning. You might not have everything you need. You might not be seeing all of the results. People are not signing up yet. So those things might weigh you down. Sorry. So if you don't understand this self-engineering, I mean, you're gonna crash. So the desire, first of all, when you start to see all of the things the conference people are doing and you have the desire, you start to see in your mind your own conference. So I started to see a big conference where people will gather, where young people, tertiary institution students from all the universities in the Southeast are going to gather. I started to picture it in my mind. That's what I was doing. So desire brings vision, and it activates a positive mindset. So as simple as it sounds, when you start to see that thing in that conference in your mind, that event in your mind, if it's 100 people you want, see it. If it's 1,000 people, see it. Start to speak it. I'm going to host 1,000 people. So what I did was I started talking to my friends. Guy, I'm going to host 1,000 people in 2022. 1,000 people in a conference. I said, what I'm doing is that I'm sharing my testimony even before it happens. So it builds your confidence. So many of my friends were now accountability partners. They were partners in vision. So, guy, 2022, I'm hosting a conference. 1,000 people are going to gather. Bro, what's up? What do you think? So don't just ask anybody what do they think. Some people will even kill the idea before it starts. Ask people who have passion. So the desire, positive mindset, what all of these things will do to you, it will build your self-esteem. So self-engineering is possible, even though you've not done it before. Believe that it's possible. That's the first step. That's the first step. Trust me. Believe that it can happen. The second thing I said from all of these six things you need to know if you want to host a successful event. Second thing is team. Building your ideal team. That's the second thing. This one is very important. Number one mistake that people make when they are trying to host a conference and they want to get a team, you just see people come and they say, they are planning their events, they'll call for team members or call for volunteers, for example. And people start rushing. It's good as people do it. It is good, call for volunteers, call for people. You want to be part of this, come, come and join, come and do. Yeah, it's good. But one secret I have used in the last 6 years, I've gathered my team together, but there's a way I was able to build. That's why I said build a team, not just assemble a team. It's different when you build a team. So the first thing is I train my vision executives. So when I see most people using the word vision executives now, I was the person who formulated it with all humility. I don't call my core team, I don't call them volunteers, I call them vision executives for a reason. Because what you are planning to do is a project that will, impact the lives of people. You need the right people. So the first thing I do is before I even host a conference, I build a team. I train a set of people who are going to be my team members for that particular project. That's what I do. So, for example, I'll use a practical example. The conference we did the second edition of that MSLC conference this year in July. Beautiful thing is that I was in Abuja all through the planning of that program. But my team in Owerri did the planning, did the execution. All I just needed to do was to travel to Owerri 1 week to the conference to welcome my guests and my speakers. That's what I just did. So I was in Abuja all through. All I was just doing was just giving feedback where necessary. You know, and people will, that's the second thing. This conference happened in July here, a few months ago, the second edition. People were asking, even my friend Esther or Delvin Girl, you know, guy, how are you doing? You're not around. I hope this conference will work, you know. But I was calm, I was relaxed because I already trained my vision executives. As if you must host a successful conference, this one is very, very important. Train the team that you need. Train them. The team you need to carry out your assignment, train them. So the event happened in July. This is what I did. In February, I did a legacy leadership project. I flagged it off, legacy leadership project, to train young people, 100 young people who want to make impact. You know, I flagged it off. Over 400 people signed up. We shortlisted the best 100. And what I did in February was that I trained all these 100 people, these young people, 50 of them. I trained them intensively for 1 week. Every single day, we're meeting physically, 50 of them, and you must come physically or else you are not part of the team anymore. I was training them. I taught them sustainability. I taught them vision. I taught them leadership development. I taught them project management. I spoke to them about, I taught them project cycle, initiation, you know, execution. I taught them all of those project cycle. Every single thing they needed as leaders, I equipped them for 1 week. And we were meeting physically and virtually. So after physical meeting in the evening, they will meet virtually. So I invited 5 of my friends from African Leadership University in Rwanda to also come and train them. These are international guys, powerful people. You know, their profile, boom, intimidating. They came, they were training these guys, building them up. So when the program was coming to an end, it was a 1 week long program, so like a boot camp. When it was coming to an end, we did an activity that bonded everybody together. We had the Legacy Leaders Road Walk. I'm just sharing a practical example of what I did. I'm not hiding it from you. You know, we did a road walk. So we were jogging around the community. So when we got tired that morning, we sat down, we drank, we ate stuff, we talked, we bonded. Another thing I did is I took them on a tour to a facility in Owerri, where, you know, to experience one of the best, you know, one of the outstanding leaders in Owerri right now. I think the CEO of PalmTech Group, Engineer Chido MBC, is a man I respect so much, like a father to me. Most of those young people had not gone to his facility before. They were just hearing about him. You know, they were dying to meet him. So we did a profiling and we asked, who do you want to meet? And they said they want to meet him. So because I had a relationship with him, I called him and I said, sir, I want to bring these 50 young leaders to your facility. They were so happy. And that was on Valentine's Day. These 50 people forgot about their boyfriends and girlfriends. And we went to PalmTech Group, you know. They toured around his facility. They ate food. 5 of them in that meeting, they got internship opportunities. PalmTech asked them to pitch their skill. They got internship opportunities, paid internship opportunities. They were being paid just by pitching. And they got access to working with him. Most of them were students. One of them, who was the SUG something, got funding for partnership for a project she was doing, I think 2 weeks after. 1 week after. So there was a lot of value I was giving to these young people. So some of them, they ended up getting a paid job, internship. They never expected it. They were very indebted. This is the secret. I built the team. I was training them very well. So after the training, after the 1 week program and everything, we inaugurated them and we splitted them into groups to go and host mini projects. So what I did was I watched them to see how they could host mini projects. And then when they started doing that, I saw how they drafted the idea, put it on Google Doc, you know, all of those things. I started to correct them and say, you know what, I've watched this idea, tweak this, correct this, change this. When I saw that these guys were good, I said, this is my team. And I said, you know what, your first assignment is to host the second edition of the conference we did last year. And they were pumped. You know, people you just trained, people who they're excited. They are ready to do anything. And I said, you know what, are you guys ready? They said, yes. And I gave them the assignment. All I needed to do was to give them proposal blueprints. I gave them every single thing they needed. And I just traveled. February, March, April, May, June. In July, the conference happened. Guess how many people seated? Without me, we had 1,700 people. We rented plastic chairs into the auditorium. hall was packed to the brim, full. So I transferred myself into these people. So don't make that mistake. If you are here, you are listening to me. Don't make that mistake. Don't just bring anybody into your team. So these people now, when we're done, I told them, I said, you guys are not volunteers or whatever. You are vision executives, because you know what? I've taught you how to think like me. I shared all the story and experiences from last year, all the challenges. So teach your team how to think like you. So if you are not there, that is the concept of succession in leadership. A lot of leaders do not understand this. That's why many businesses fail. I'm not going to talk about business or leadership. I'm talking about conferences, yeah. But let me just say this. A lot of businesses fail because leaders cannot make things happen in their absence. So if you are not there, can whatever you have, whatever vision you have birthed, can it last? That's the concept of succession in leadership. Every successful leadership is determined by a successful succession. So what I did was succession. And that's what I did last year. I'm going to share the experience too. I built a team last year of people who loved me, people who were passionate, they wanted to work with me. I brought them together for last year. That's why even with the challenge we had, the ASU strike, those guys were pumped and they said, sir, we are doing this with you. Even people were surprised how we did it, but we're able to pull through. So the secret is in the team. Build a team intentionally. Engineer their mindsets. Teach them how to think like you. Train your dream team. Transfer yourself into them. That's what I did. That's a practical thing I did. So these guys were already experienced. So those mini projects they did, they faced challenges too. They learned from the challenges. They raised funds for those mini projects themselves. So when it was time for this bigger task, they came together. And what that also did was that they didn't want to fail me. They did not want to fail me. They said, this man has invested so much in us. Mr. Samuel has done so much. That's what they were saying to me, sir. This one is going to be a success. Don't worry. You don't even need to bother. You have done so much for us. So not like you are training them to be indebted to you. I think I should correct that. But what you are doing automatically will make them indebted. When you give value to people, people automatically want to give value to you. So one of the principles I have, I teach. I also teach people sometimes when I'm opportunity to speak is that do good to the extent, do good for people to the extent that people now start to owe you favors. You're not doing good for people to owe you favors, but do good to the extent that people, when they think about, oh, what can I do for this guy? What can I do? This guy has done so much. How can I repay him back? You know, team, build your team. I'm just running through these principles. You know, these are just surface idea. I think with this, if anybody can even host their conference. Number 3, I talked about the third one, the speaker lineup. I'm just going to say 2 things about this. Speaker lineup. This is the third thing you must take note of. You must get this right if you're hosting a conference. Speaker lineup. Sometimes people attend an event just because of who's coming. We cannot strike off that fact. People attend us who's coming. Sometimes say, oh, you're inviting, if you have noticed very well, you're inviting your friends for an event and they say, who they come, Seth? Who did the flyer? Yeah. So this is also a reason why people attend events. So speaker lineup is important. So balance your lineup. Don't just carry anybody. This is my friend. This guy is influential. Don't just pack people on your event lineup. No. Certain intelligent people will not attend your events because of that. For example, I organize leadership events. So there's a way I balance my speaker lineup. I'm just going to share practically from my experience. Leadership cuts across many spheres. Leadership, when we talk about leadership, we talk about there's spiritual leadership. For church leaders, there's spiritual leadership. There's political leadership. There's entertainment. You know that they're industry experts now in entertainment. For example, people like AY, people like Don Jazzy, these are entertainment gods. When they speak, people listen. These are people who have mastered the crowd, Alibaba. So they are leaders in the entertainment industry. You know, there's also leadership. Leadership also, you know, in the area of, for example, transformation, personal leadership. For example, yeah, that's an area. There's business, leadership in business. So there's business leadership. There are leaders in business. So leadership cuts across different spaces. So when I'm doing an event, all my conferences, I balance everything. There's leadership. There's the art of selling in leadership. As a leader, you sell every day because you communicate your vision to people. You are selling your vision to people. How do you make people buy into a vision that you have? You don't have to sell. So that's why we even invited Sir Emeka Nobis in 2022 for the first edition of that conference. So it was supposed to be in the panel, but sadly he couldn't make it because he felt ill. But we invited him so he could talk about the psychology of selling as leaders, and that works. So you see, leadership cuts across many spaces. So all of the events I've organized, I look at these different, quadrants and bring it together to have a perfect lineup. Practical example, the event we did in July. The speaker lineup, we had Dr. Linus Okori. It was a speaker. We had Dr. Linus Okori. He spoke about mind leadership. He's a leadership expert. He was there. We had Elisha Mama speak about mentorship. Because leadership, you cannot talk about leadership without talking about following or somebody who is mobilizing people to follow. You cannot talk about leadership without talking about a team, without talking about building community. So he spoke about mentorship. We had my friend who was in Nigerian Idol, who was a Nigerian Idol winner, Progress, my very good friend. He's in entertainment, he's a musician, how he came to talk about dream, the power to dream. How I was able to grow from a very little community in Warri now into stardom. So we balanced the equation, balanced it. So anybody who is an entertainment person who comes to the event, we get value. Anybody who is a business guy, we brought CEO of Palmtech, one of the powerful businessmen in the Southeast right now. Powerful. Brought him as a speaker, spoke about sustainability, sustainable businesses in leadership. So you see, anybody who is a business guy will come and learn something. Anybody who wants to learn about mindset will come and learn something in leadership. Anybody who wants to come and learn about mentorship, wants to learn how to be mentored and how to mentor, will learn something. So you see how we balanced it. We also brought, last year we brought Pastor Timothy Benedict also talk about the spiritual aspect of leadership. Yes, balance your lineup. Very important. Whatever you're doing, balance your lineup. And there was also NMSC and Ndianike. This year, NMSC, she does community leadership, community building, teaching young girls skills, digital skills. That's community leadership. Brought Barrister Ndianike. She contested for governor on the Labour Party. I think she contested something like that. Brought her in. So that's also gender balance too. Yeah, so there's gender balance. Bringing women who to speak and air their opinions and ideas. Yes, so you see, balance your lineup. So not because somebody's your friend, you are bringing people. Balance it. You can bring your friends, but let your lineup be balanced so that it gives value to people. This is just basic about this. Yes, and I know that people used to say that if you are not really popular, you are not yet a brand, a popular brand. Also, people say if you are not yet a big name, please get a star to your event, even though it's one person. Even if it's one person, get a star. I know some people say, hey, you don't need celebrity to sell out your event. I know people say that a lot. But please, if you are a young person who doesn't have capacity like that, get a star. There's psychology of events. It's psychology that controls hosting an event. If you are not yet a popular brand, get a star. Somebody who can at least pull in the crowd. Last year, we had Professor Kingsley Moghalu. He was a presidential aspirant, former deputy CBN governor, worked with United Nations for 17 years. A very influential person. He was even trending. Was a presidential aspirant Storms Oweri. Yeah, we did media rounds. This year we had the Nigerian Idol guy. A lot of girls were shouting, "Oh, I want to see this guy! I want to see this guy!" Yeah. So he attracted the crowd. Even though I know that we already have the brand, the people will attend because it's our event. But yeah, we there are a lot of elements you bring into your event to make it stand out. We get a start. There are some people who necessarily do not need a start. They're just like Emeka Nobis did his program in Port Harcourt, just his face on the flyer, and then his friends. Yeah, people came. He's already a brand, a very force. He's a force, a renowned figure. That works. But if you are not yet a big name, get a big name. So when you get a big name, the event gets more credibility. That's what it does to you, gets more credibility, and people come, and then that way you are building your rep, you are building your credibility. So when people are asking, this guy, they start to talk about you, and that's it. So the next thing is branding, marketing, publicity strategy that will keep your event trending from start to finish. I think we're running out of time already, but I'll just share a bit about this. This one is very important. Branding. Your visuals must be catchy. One of the things I did was that in that team we had powerful designers. There's a young man I love so much, Okeke Makochuku. You know, he's somebody who is the person who does most of my designs. You know, he's very powerful. So he coordinates all that designers. So your visuals must be top notch. Your videos, your flyer designs must be top notch. Communicate with your visuals. So when people see our flyers for our conference, and they're always, wow, who designs this for you? Yes, very important. You know, have people, your visuals must be very powerful. Communicate every detail with your visual. Communicate every detail with your visual. Yeah, I can see Esther. Thank you, Esther, my friend. Thank you. Communicate every detail with your visual. When we're marketing our event conferences, down to the little details, we communicate it on our design. Who is the organizer of this event? Frequently asked questions. The date of the event, we've confirmed the date, we've confirmed the venue, we put everything. Those things keep people want to see what's next about these people's events. What's next? Yeah, keep people on suspense. Another thing is when you're marketing, jump on trends. So we started doing something with our event. We started using these memes to come in to sell our event. When I brought the idea, my team was like, this is a leadership event, so we need to be serious. So how are we going to be using memes? This is not SM Fest. This is not social media event. I said, listen, the future of work now it requires people to be innovative and creative. If you stay here and be doing serious, even the country now is not serious. Nigeria is not serious. They're not joking with you. We must use every strategy. So we started using memes. For example, we'll get a funny picture, somebody holding a cane you know what those memes are now? Somebody holding a cane chasing somebody. And I say, if you not buy our tickets, this is how we're going to flog you. That kind of a thing. It makes people like, wow, who is this guy? If you don't attend the event, we use memes. Those things attract people. That's like the Gen Z language. The young people now, those things attract them. You know, those memes, those things. So there's one video where Sabinus was counting money. So my team now put something and say, this is how our vendors will be cashing out when they book a stand to sell their product. And we posted it, 2 vendors saw it and said, I like this, how much is even the stand? And they said, 20K, I want to pay. It attracts people. Jump on trends. That's the next thing. With your marketing, jump on trends. Very important. If you're here, you are doing an event, jump on trends. Last year, there was a war happening between Russia and Ukraine. So that trend was happening. Although it was risky because we didn't know if they would come at us, but we designed a flyer. Put Putin, the president of Russia, will put his picture on the left. We put what's the Ukraine guy, Ukraine president, that is Zelensky. We put his name at the right, and we said World War III is going to be happening in Owerri on the 12th of March. Zelensky and this guy is going to be attending MSLC 2023. You can imagine that. There's a war happening. These guys are fighting, and we use the trend, and we say World War III is happening in Owerri. These 2 guys are attending the event. We're going to fight in the hall. People were now like, wow, I like this. Which event is this? That was a trend. Those things make your events trend. So what happens is that people start to share those things. It's not like they are part of the event, but they start sharing it, and people see, wow, which event is happening like this? Which event is happening like this? And people want to attend your event. Jump on trends. Very important. Create concepts. Do videos. Video marketing. Run ads. You know, there are some secrets I would have shared here, but I don't have the time. You know, I don't have enough time. I want to go explicit. But visuals are important. So, for example,
please go ahead. Go ahead and share. We have time. But before you go ahead, maybe people who have just joined, let's give them
Okay.
a snippet of who you are and what you have done.
Okay, sir.
Anyone who has that privilege to pass through photo is destined to be great.
It is better to train a goat than to train a human being.
It was my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who defined leadership as the ability to inspire and motivate right a group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation.
Everybody was seeing my fine suit, but nobody knew that it was 100 naira I had in my pocket.
You can live without mentoring, but you can never mentor without
You can be a solution to any problem, even the one that your background brings to you.
So you want to find out, where am I going to in the future? Who would I want to become in the future? It doesn't matter the background that you come from.
How do you do it?
It is our blood that gives value to our nation. For as long as you are unwilling to shed your blood for your country has no value.
All right, so guys must have seen. I mean, you saw all the guys. You saw the Moralo. You saw Linus Okore. You saw amazing guys. All right, go ahead, Sam.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. All right, so this has been. I'm even learning all these strategies all over again. You know, yeah. So we're talking about, I think, branding, marketing, publicity. So I was talking about jumping on trends. It's very important that you use trends to say. So, for example, if I was hosting an event, a major conference now, there's this trend people are jumping on. I'm not the CEO. I'm the this. I'm not the bride. I'm the friend to the bride. Yeah, I would jump on that with my team, and put the video out there. It makes people, there's a human connection using trend. When you use trends to market, there's a human connection. It builds with people who are watching or people who are seeing it, because it shows that there's a common ground with you. It shows that you are also attentive to what's happening around people around. So that's like a very important aspect of publicity for an event. So, and publicity is very important. If possible, leverage. I have something here. So use influencer marketing. So whenever I'm hosting events, for me, there are a lot of influential people I have access to. I have relationship with them. So I use my relationship with them to say, hey, bro. So what will I do for you so you could talk about my events? I'll put it out there. So for example, when we're doing our conference this year, we had, since we're targeting undergraduates, young youths from all institutions in Southeast, we had influential people they did videos. Say, oh yeah, my name is this Emmanuel, this, and I'm recommending this conference that's being hosted by Mr. Samuel. That was a powerful recommendation, and they posted it on their space, and a lot of their people saw it and said, how can I be part of this? How can I be part of this? How can I be part of this? That works. Use influencer marketing. People who can easily, who other people like to see, who like to hear from. People who have audiences. You leverage influencer marketing. Very important. I've used influencer marketing by virtue of relationship for 2 of my events, and the result has been outstanding. A lot of people get to know about it. A lot of people get to ask questions. And there's something about humans. When they see something repeatedly, they pop on their social media, they are seeing a flyer. Oh, they might ignore it the first time. Yeah. They go to their WhatsApp status, they see their friends posting this thing. There's something my team usually do. So when we, when I was talking about team, I didn't tell you when we set up, after training those 50 guys, we now called for volunteers. So those vision executives call for volunteers. So we had about 200 volunteers. All my events that I want to be big, I usually onboard so many people in the team. I don't just put people on the team. There's an onboarding process. They all register through a form. And after registering, we now shortlist them. They answer questions. That process alone is going to stress them. So unserious people will not even fill the form because what's this? We don't just put people on the group. So they answer questions, we now onboard them, send emails, and bring. So that way, you are getting serious-minded people who know what they want to do for you. Yeah. So I was saying, the team where I was talking about something. Yeah. So just to continue, leverage on your team. For example, so I've talked about influencer marketing. Yeah. Leverage community. Very important. This one is important. Leverage community to market your event, to publicize your event. When I say community, I mean there are a lot of people who have groups where young people gather. So you're doing an event for young people. There are a lot of people who have groups where young people come together. For example, when we're doing the first edition of our conference, we mapped out the first edition. That was last year when we did the mega conference. We mapped out list of communities around our location. We even reached out to churches, reached out to clubs, Enactus, all Rotrax, all of those clubs, reached out to all of them. And we told them something. We said, how about you work with us to make our event a success? So we asked them to shortlist people. So we shortlist people from your church, shortlist people from the youth department, shortlist people from your club. We went to those places to speak. For example, you are doing a conference in your city. There are communities around your city. So one popular community that we leverage on to market our events is the Bedrock community. Bedrock is in Owerri. If you're in Owerri, you know Bedrock. I have a very good relationship with the founder, Mr. Hector, and he's a coach and mentor to me. So reached out to him and said, "That's Uncle Hector." I've been part of the community anyways. I've been attending the meetings. I always contribute. I volunteer. I led a team for Bedrock community, the Owerri Business Week. I led a team for them. That was in 2021, where we mobilized 1,000 people. I was the publicity director. So I was publicity manager. So I used that opportunity to show them what I got. 1,000 people were seated, So that community helped me. I went there several times to speak about what I do. And the community were reposting our flyers. That's one community. There are a lot of other communities like that. We reached out to other communities. Leverage on community. So that's why you must not just go and make it easy for yourself. Sometimes you can even join the community. Give value to them. You're not joining. This is not strategic something. You are joining because you want to give value. So when it's time for you to do something, the community jumps on what you are doing. They want to assist you. So be part of community. So for me, I volunteered for a lot of communities in Owerri. So when I want to do something, many people come and say, "How can we support you? How can we be part of this?" That's it. So when I was talking about publicity, I was saying something that the psychology of selling is that, I was saying how people can ignore your flyers when they see it. For example, they now check WhatsApp and they're seeing their friends posting it, They want to, what is this event? I saw it on Facebook. I'm seeing it here on WhatsApp. So what we do is that we do social media marathons. All of those 200 people in our volunteer team, we ask them, repost this at 7 p.m. at the same time. Boom. So there's a buzz online. Everybody put the hashtags. So there's a buzz. And people are seeing it. Why is this trending? What is this? They open it. And they say, to know more about us, click the link, check our social media. That buzz. So people might also choose to ignore it when they see that. Maybe they are now driving to market or something to go and get something for themselves. And they're driving, they see a billboard with this same flyer and picture. It's not this flyer I've been seeing everywhere. What is this thing about? They come again. They are walking around and they see a flyer. They are seeing people doing publicity. Or they see a billboard, a banner. There's nothing, unless that person has a spiritual problem. They will go and they will call the number. I want to attend this event. That's the psychology of marketing. That's what I do. So we do that when we're applying our conferences. We go to everywhere we know where people are going to pass, where people are usually crowded at, where people, you know, along the major road, you see a billboard of our event. Along inside small areas, you see the banners. You know, we also, I think this year we printed 4,000 flyers. 4,000. So that's why the next thing I want to say, just before I'll talk about traditional marketing, but let me finish this. We printed 4,000 flyers. You know, so everywhere you go to, you must see the event. You must see it. You must see something about us. Community is important. So I said that already. Join communities that are value-driven, passionate, that do things around what you do. Be part of the communities, volunteer, render service, do what you can to make the community grow forward. When you want to do something, that community will also assist you. Imagine when up to 7 communities that have members, you know, have the manpower, they come and they endorse what you do. That's a great, you know. Well, whenever we do conferences for undergraduates, we have people invite us to their fellowships. Come and talk about it. Come and bring people. Come and that's how we do it. Everywhere, we're always everywhere, moving around. That's the concept. So these are systems you can use. Community marketing is very important. Very, very important. So because of the conferences I do, I target students from around the Southeast. So for example, we're doing the conference in the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. In Imo State University and Nekede, we had a team in these institutions. They were doing the same thing we're doing here. They were doing publicity. So this year's edition, we had somebody who mobilized, who was the team lead for Imo State University as a whole. They used buses to mobilize students. Yeah, so what I did was I set up the teams everywhere. You know, so they were doing their own work. That's community. So we have like our own community in those institutions now. When we want to do a conference, we just send out a message and people are working. That's the idea. So in those institutions, they reach out to their own communities, their own fellowships, their own churches, their own students' bodies, their own clubs. So that's why when people see the crowd everywhere and they're like, what is this guy doing? It's not just about posting on social media. No, there's a system. There are people we mobilize strategically for this cause. And now what I do now, the conference was in July. I've done series of trainings for my team members. Training again, re-engineering their minds for what's happening next year. You know, even all of this in the institutions, I'm training them. I've been giving them for free again. Say, you know what? You guys did a good job. Now let me build you again. You know? That's like the idea. So, talk about community, leverage community. The next thing is traditional marketing. All right. So there are certain people who will attend your event, and they are not online. You know, some people just focus only online. I saw somebody complaining. They was talking to me after all the stress I went through, after everything I did. Nobody attended my conference. And when I was asking questions, how did you publicize the conference? So just only social media. And you don't have large following. So how are people going to attend the conference? From social media. From only social media. I mean, that's you know, I don't know how you intend to do that, but that's crazy. So leverage every system of marketing. You are doing a conference that is not virtual. I depend on this social media. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know how that works. So traditional marketing. So there's something my team usually do. We go to the major junctions. Like for example, we're doing our conference in Owerri. We go to, if you're in Owerri, you know Wedra roundabout. You know fire service. You know Mbise Road. The Douglas. We go to those major junctions, those roundabouts where people are always, you know, transporting themselves from. We go to those places and we are giving them handbills. You have to, that's traditional, you have to attack every single public. So sometimes people are driving their cars, we fold the handbills and we throw it inside their cars. Or even having fun. No matter who you are. The idea is that if you want 1,000 people seated in your hall, reach 50,000 people, reach 10,000 people. You want 1,000 people, reach 10,000 people. Don't just stay there. And you're posting on your WhatsApp. You're posting on your WhatsApp. You're posting. Go the extra mile. So we go to those junctions. There are many people who attended our conference. We say, wow, I never knew about it. Where is it happening? And some people even paid for tickets on the spot. Those people are not online. They didn't see us from social media. There's a limit to what you can achieve with social media. The real work sometimes is done offline. Most of these organizations you see, for example, that do consulting, it's not just on social media they get their gigs from. Some of them from ads, yes, but some people go to offices. Some of the major deals are signed in the offices. You have to worry people will say you need to work. You will walk, move around. You know, do some legwork. All right. Traditional marketing. We go to people who sell in their shops. So I've heard about this conference happening. We give them. So wow, I like it. So these are the people who are coming and they pay for tickets. Leverage traditional marketing. Exclusive marketing is also something else. So for example, this strategy is going to help if you are here, you do paid conferences, maybe paid coaching programs for business people, maybe physical exclusive. Yeah, this exclusive marketing works. For example, our conferences that we do for young leaders, we profile SMEs, small and medium enterprises around the world. We did a profiling of all of them. Those small businesses that have team members and a CEO. Maybe just a young leader who is just having a small business and has a team of 2 people, 3 people, or staff members of 2, 3, 4 persons. We profile them. What we do is that we do a letter, attach the flyer of the event, attach a proposal asking them to pay for the tickets for their staff and for themselves. We visit, last time I think we profiled 50 SMEs. That was for last year anyways. 50 SMEs, we also did it this year. 50 SMEs, I think, was it 50 or 70? We visited all of these SMEs, submitted these letters. And out of the 50, I think 20 of them paid for, I think either 2, some of them paid for 2 persons from their office, paid for 1 person. That's exclusive. So imagine 20 persons paid for 2 persons from their offices. That's like 40 people who paid for tickets to attend the conference. That's a good number. Adding to what we have. That's exclusive. You reach out to certain people personally who you know. Some of them will now even sponsor. If you're doing a paid conference, some of them sponsor tickets. That's one way to bring in a lot of people. But many people do not know this. They don't even make the movements. They just hope on God, to people from heaven. But that doesn't work. So exclusive marketing is something that works. Make people, they're setting, sometimes you see people fill up a hall. Some of those people, they were personal moves that we made to bring them. Exclusive marketing. So marketing in its entirety is psychological. So there are a lot of things you have to do. So for you, if you are listening to me also, we run ads for our conferences. So running ads is also important. So sometimes we run ads, we target 50,000 people. For 1 month, we can say we're spending this amount, we budget money and run ads. A lot of people get to see the ads, a lot of people. And people pay, people sign up, people register. That's it. So if you are doing an event, I want to tell you something, market it so well. Market it. The 5th thing is mobilizing. Mobilizing. I'll take questions anyways, but mobilizing, just run through this. Mobilizing. This is the 5th thing. If you are paying attention, this is the 5th thing you need to really take note of. If you must mobilize, because all my conferences, most of them are usually paid. So we look for strategies to bring people together. The idea is the hall must be filled up. So one strategy I want to give you to mobilize people is whether free or paid. If you're doing a free conference or paid, whether it's free or paid, this one, it works. Use the network market system to mobilize people. Network market. If you are familiar with network marketing, there's something they say, bring 2 people. When you bring 2 people, those people under you will bring 2 people. That's the system. For example, you want to do an event for 100 people. You want to do an event for 100 people, right? So this is it. Let's say you have a team of 10 persons. Yeah, you have a team of 10 persons, for example, and you want to do an event for 100 people. Now, those 10 persons in your team, bring them together and imagine if those 10 people, each of them reach out to 10 of their friends that they are sure will attend events. So give them an assignment. What we do sometimes when we're having our meetings, we say, okay, everybody come together. Write a list of 5, because my events are usually paid. So say write a list of 5 persons who you are sure will attend this event. So everybody you have so many friends. So you just map out 5 people you are sure, put their names down. Okay, call them and tell them. Now, the example I was giving, imagine those 10 of your team members call 10 of their friends who they are sure will attend the program. All 10 of them do the same thing. That's 100 people already. Let's say you're doing a free event and you just need 100 people in the hall. That's 100 people. So that's the assignment. Those 10 people will give you feedback. Those 10 people, your team will give you feedback once they have their 10 people complete. That's like the network marketing system. You bring 10 people, you bring 10 people. When they are done, you see that you have 10 people, you have 100 people already. Very simple. But most people don't think about it like this. They don't think about it. So most of our events are actually paid. Sometimes tickets are for 5K, 5,000. So all of the 200 volunteers in our team, we say each volunteer must sell 5 tickets each, minimum. So 5 times 200. 5 times 200. Five, that's 1,000. So, you see the idea? 200 people bring 5 people each. That's 1,000 people said. If I'm not mistaken, I think that should be correct. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, and so that should be correct. If 200 people bring 5%, yeah, that works. That's 1,000 people. So that's like the plan. We say 5. So it's simple. Those 200 people. Sometimes we're having our meetings. We say outline 5 names that you are sure. What you just need to do is make sure your team members follow up on those 5 people. And the truth is, sometimes some of those team members, we also give them an idea. Even if those 5 people are not interested, they don't want to pay. Some of you have uncles, you have aunts, you have mentors, you have big people around you. You just reach out to them and say, you know what, there's this event we're planning for young people. Can you sponsor a young person to attend? The ticket is 5,000. And somebody can sponsor, and we just shortlist somebody who's interested and bring them. So you see, if out of the 200 people, well, not every of them is going to, it's like decide that they will not tell you, but not every of them is going to sell tickets. Let's say out of the 200, 100 eventually brings 5 people. That's 500 people. And all the publicity you'll be doing brings other people. That's something. I mean, this is strategy that works. You might not hear this from anybody. All right? It's not simple, but it works. Now, when we're having follow-up meetings, where are 5 people? Okay, so 2 persons are paid. Now, when we have a list, everybody lists out the 5 people. We switch the names. You take this person's 5 names, take this person's 5 names. So you call them. Say, hello, my name is Samuel. I'm calling you I'm a team member for the SLC conference. Your friend Chinaza told me that she has spoken to you about this place, and I'm just trying to send a reminder. And we really want you to attend. I would like for you to book your ticket. When can I send a reminder? How can I meet you to give you your ticket? So that way, this person is wondering, their team members are calling me. This event is really serious. Next day, another person comes from that same team. Okay, send the account number and they pay. So you see that works. That's like the network marketing system of mobilizing. It's very easy. You want to 500 people together. So have 20 people who will bring, 10 people, 5 people. That's it. And that is more, it makes people more focused. So when I have a responsibility to bring just 10 people and I'm done. Hello, guy, this event is happening. I want to attend. Just bring your people, and that's all. And you see that everything happens. That's structure mobilizing. That's the system that politicians use. So politicians go to every local government and pay. They pay the local government chairman, they pay somebody there, mobilize people for me. Politicians they want to buy the event, some politicians they want to fill up the stadium. You know, they go and pay mobilizing, they go and bring community people with buses to the place. That mobilization. They start paying people money. It works for event. That's one way to do it. Very simple way. Very simple. So when you are also something, giving your team targets, for example, when you're event, human beings are political in nature. They have self-centered. Every human is self-centered. We always ask what's in it for me. Even though we say that guys are not self-centered, yeah, but everybody wants to take care of themselves. So what we do is that we also give an offer to the team and say, anybody who sells up to 10 tickets, get a percentage. You get 10% or 15% from all ticket sales. Imagine somebody says 10 tickets. Tickets is 5,000, 5 and 10. That's a good number. So you say you get 15%. They want to even do more than 5. That way, you are boosting their morale. And when they say that number, you give them their percentage. So you are even empowering your team. This is a psychology around this thing. It's not too difficult, but you just have to take the step to make it happen. That's like the reward system that comes after the work. The reward system must reward your team. Very important. I do that a lot. So that's mobilizing. I have two more things. Mobilizing. Two more things for mobilizing. Yeah, but the last part is funding. Funding is very important. A lot of people. So you see, for me, most times I organize events and I make a lot of profits for my events, corporate profits, and I usually sort out things if you plan very well. So if you are doing a paid event, people can also see sponsor your events. All my events have been paid, but I have sponsors who come in. Yeah, I'm going to sponsor this. So that's part is funding. Sometimes to set up the event at the initial stage, you need funding, you need capital, and you might not have that. The major source of funding that I've used is social capital. That's one thing I'm promising that every young person, everybody wants to host an event who's going to be part of the training and hosting, you know. I'm going to help you, you know, get funding for your event through most of my special, you know, relationships. You know, that's like one of the perks attached. But funding, sometimes the first step is through social capital. It's easier through social capital. So before you reach out to big brands to sponsor, partner with you, most of you might not have credibility well enough. For me now, there's a brand who is about to give us a couple of thousands of dollars for my next edition of my conference. They're giving us some thousands of dollars. They've seen my result. They've seen all we've done. They saw we've hosted presidential aspirant. They saw we've done this and that. They've seen the crowd. They sponsored this year and they needed 100 people to sign up to their app. And 150 people signed up, I think about 200. And they were happy. And they said, you know what, we're going to give you guys some thousands of dollars again. So you can do this. You can, you know, so and now we're not even bothered about funding for next year because the sponsor has given us commitment. They put it in their budget. So, but before you get big brands to sponsor your events, you need social capital. You need people that you know. So how much value have you given to people, you know, that you can meet them to fund your event? Most of the organizations that fund my events, I know them personally. I have a relationship with them. And most of them have seen the work that we do. Social capital. But then there's a strategy to also get funding from other brands, even though you don't have credibility. One way to do that is to leverage on relationships, leverage on the relationship of people who have relationship with those people. You know, and second thing is reach out to brands early. Not every brand can sponsor your event. You know, certain brands sponsor only certain kind of events. Some brands sponsor only tech events. Some brands will sponsor only fashion events, social media events. So not every brand can sponsor your kind of event. So which brand can sponsor? You're doing a leadership conference, for example. Look for brands who are passionate about impact or maybe development of people. You know, those are the kind of brands who they have inclination to what you do. All right, those are the kind of people you reach out to, and reach out to brands early. One way to get partnership for stuff is you are doing an event in July. You are reaching out to a brand in January. There's what we call quarter, quarter plans, for organizations. There's what we call first quarter, second quarter, A lot of, for example, now if you're planning an event for next year, this is the time to start reaching out. Not next year, not January now. Let's say you're planning an event by this time next year. This is the time to start reaching out. So they can factor your event in their budget and plan for next year. So you don't stumble on them. The only way they can break that protocol is if you have a relationship with them. But if you don't, do a value proposition, do a proposal template. I have a couple of templates, samples of templates I've used. I've attracted sponsors. I've had a meeting with Flutterwave just last year for sponsorship. They were attracted by my proposal, and they're willing to come in, So what value proposition, and reach out early enough, all right? When you reach out to an organization to fund your event, then start making moves. Maybe you write a mail, you write a letter, start making moves. Last year, I reached out to an organization in Lagos. I will not mention the name, but I reached out to an organization in Lagos, a fintech organization. They partnered with us for last year. When I sent my mail, I traveled to Lagos. Went to their head office, and I said, I sent a mail. They saw me, we had a conversation, and they liked the conversation. Many people will just send a mail, and they stop there. And say, nobody's reaching out to me. Nobody wants to support me. No. What moves did you make? So I think with these 3 points of mine, I've been able to convince you that you can host a conference. I'll take questions now. I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that your next conference is possible. Self-engineering, team formation.
Anyone who has that privilege to pass through photo is destined to be great.
It is better to train a goat than to train a human being.
It was my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who defined leadership as the ability to inspire or stay drive a group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation.
Everybody was seeing my fine suit, but nobody knew that it was 100 naira I had in my pocket.
You can live without mentoring, but you can never mentor without it.
You can be a solution to any problem, even the one that your background brings to you.
So you want to find out, where am I going in the future? Who would I want to become in the future? It doesn't matter the background that you come from.
How do we? It is our blood that gives value to our nation. For as long as you are unwilling to shed your blood for your country has no value.
All right, Samuel, I have just 3 questions for you, and then other people, as I'm asking my questions, you can also drop your questions. But before we go ahead with the questions, please, Samuel, there's something you're hosting. I know you are connected with a whole lot of individuals because of this, but share a little bit to us what you are planning, and then we can go ahead to ask the questions. Unmute your mic.
Okay, so my training for I'm planning a training for December. It's a conference sellout training. Yeah, I'm planning to host it in December. It's a virtual training. So I'm putting this together for every single individual who have no idea of what hosting a conference is. Even though you've hosted a conference before and it failed, this training is for you. If you've hosted a conference, you want to make it bigger, this is for you. If not hosted a conference at all, you desire to host a conference. You see people hosting conferences and you want to do one for yourself. You want people to be impacted. You want to bring in people to transform the lives of other people. This training is for you. It's a conference sellout training. All of the secret. If you've gotten value from all I've said here in the last 50-something minutes, then this is just the tip of the iceberg. In this training, I'm going to be giving every single person the opportunity to have access to all the blueprints, down to the proposals I have used to attract sponsors, proposals I have used, the templates. I'm going to give it out. I'm going to hold your hand until after training for 3 days. It's a 3 days conference, 1st, 2nd, 28, 29, and 30th of December. After the training, I'm going to hold the hands of everybody who registers for this training and guide you every step of the way until you host your own conference or event. It might be a small workshop you want to do. This conference is for you. It might be a seminar for 100 people, 50 people, 20 people. But you need the moral support. You need the idea. You have fears, you have doubts. And we're going to smash those doubts, choke procrastination, and do this. So this is what the conference is about. All of these 6 strategies, these 6 concepts and secrets, I'm going to expound on them further and share practical steps that you need, to host your next event successfully. And all of the training is going to be recorded in video form. So even though you are busy, you might not have time to be there on the 28th, 29th, and 30th, you can have access to the videos at your convenience and ask me questions. So there's going to be mentorship after that. And in 2024, your next event is going to be a success. After this training, it's going to be testimonies for you.
I'm in the dark, but I can ask my questions actually. There have been a power cut, but then I'm here. All right. Okay, so they'll put on a generator soon. All right. So my question that I have for you, let me make it 2 questions actually, so that other people have questions also. Regarding financing. All right, regarding financing, a lot of individuals who want to host conferences, they never plan about the finances, and you see them entering into your inbox. Oh, sir, you are doing amazing. You're my last hope. I want to host. This thing is going to touch people's lives, and I know that you are touching people's lives. Please give me, please that. I mean, a whole lot. I have never, since I started hosting events in the past 10, 15 years, never ever gone to someone to ask for to help me, to give me money to host my event. I work hard, I sell my products, and then I use my money that I made from selling these products to host my own conferences. What do you have to say about financing? The power is on. What do you have to say about financing conferences? All right, from your pocket or whatever. Financing should be something that should be even considered at the very beginning regarding hosting conferences. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for this question. It's a very serious question. So this financing is a limitation that many young people have. So many young people have good intentions. Sometimes people meet me and say, sir, I want to impact lives, but I don't have money. I was there before. It's a very serious matter. Yeah, so the first thing I want to say is that, yes, I've seen people who jump out by faith and say, without money in their pockets, they hosted event. I've had that experience. Many times I've put out a flyer and say, we're doing this conference, and they have funding. But the best thing to do is, everybody wants to do an event. Nobody's chasing you. Nobody's chasing out. Nobody's pursuing you. You are not in a hurry. If you want to do an event in 2024, let's say in September, then you have from December now until August to raise some capital for your conference, because certain people will not support you until they see what you have. There's some organizations we reached out to for our conferences. They said, okay, so how much have you guys raised? That's why sometimes one strategy that we use is that we sell tickets for our events too. People pay a token. People pay a little amount of money so we can have funding to sort out logistics. because funding is very important. And sometimes no people might not fund first edition. Most events, most organizations don't even sponsor first editions. They say they don't trust you. Let's see your consistency first. So you might be lucky enough. For me, I built so much capital, social capital, and then I had organizations who partnered even on the first edition. They took a chance on us. But it might not always be like that for you. So you must create, save up funds. If you are working, save money to host an event. Nobody's chasing after you. Nobody will kill you if you don't do an event. Nobody's going to kill you. Nobody's going to take your life. So take time. What you need to be doing is you are preparing yourself for when you're going to host your event. So if possible, save up funds. Finance is a major thing. You must factor it in before you start your planning. That's why you must draw out your budgets. Yeah, every logistics, draw it out. Start working towards it. So factor in finances. I'm doing an event. I'm doing 2 events. One in December, 29th of December in Warri, one on the 5th of January in Port Harcourt. Those 2 events, I'm not asking anybody to give me funds. I'm funding them myself because I've spent time since early this year to prepare for those events. So I have funds I'm going to use to fund it. Yeah, so that's it. So now it's easy for me because I prepared all since the beginning of the year. I prepared for these 2 events. All right, so that's the idea. So that's the first thing. Prepare for funding. Don't be in a hurry to host an event. Events are going to happen even as long as you live. So take your time. Prepare. Don't burden people with your impact story. I know people, you're making impact. Yes, people will celebrate you, but they must not support you. They'll pray for you. Don't burden people. People have challenges they're going through. Unless people reach out to you and say, I want to support this. I like this. Yeah. So, but prepare for your events. And the one official way to also get funding is through requesting for partnership. There are organizations that have budget for CSR, corporate social responsibility. They want to fund events. If you reach out to organizations that are officially drafting your letter to them, that's good. If they choose to give you funding, beautiful and perfect, that works. That's one way to also fund an event. Another strategy is to sell tickets. If you have offers, you sell tickets, people pay for tickets to come, and you use ticket money to fund expenses. That's beautiful. But people must plan very well for funding before they host their event. So that's like my idea. Prepare yourself for funding. That's why sometimes this recently discovered that if you want, before you host an event, just prepare, get a job. Have money coming in, no matter how small. And don't try to do an event where you spend 5 million, where you cannot even effectively raise 100,000 naira. Some people want to do mega conference, want to bring AY to events, want to bring Funke Akindele. But look at you don't even have money to eat. So start little. You can start with 50 people, 20 people in the community, build credibility for bigger platforms, and people see you, they want to now support you and fund you, so people can connect you to funding opportunities. So once you get to the point where you have your recurring funders, there are some people who, anytime they're doing events, there are brands who will be pumping funds. That's the level you get to when you are now big and you are now known. People now lobby to even sponsor you or fund your events. Once you get to that level, please prepare for funding. Very important.
Yeah, I'll share a few thoughts of mine here. The first thing is start out small.
Yes.
When people say conferences, I started out small. I started out hosting events in my friend's house. So I spoke to friends, and I remember in Owerri, his parlor was big enough, and about 30 individuals, were able to fit into that sitting room, and I spoke to them. And many of them are still connected to me. People like Lois Peters was there. There's this guy in Abatu, quite a number of them who attended the event, and we are still connected. They've linked me to other places where I spoke and all that. That's the first thing. Start out at your level, and as you're starting out at that level, thank God for social media. Milk it so well. I mean, take the pictures and promote it like as if it was the best conference on earth, right? Hype it to the end, right? Talk about it. Make people love the way if they see you hyping your stuff. They're like, even if it's 6 people, they're like, why is this guy hyping this thing so much like this? hype it to the ends of the earth. Number two thing I'll tell you, start preparing ahead of time. And I'll tell you, I've already started preparing for conversations with the Dawn next year. I want to do like 2 events, 3 events back to back. All right, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I'm still thinking if I'm going to do the 3 days or just do 2 days. So the first day will be knowledge money. Saturday will be conversations with the Dawn, young and earning as a theme, and then Sunday we wrap up with my VIP. Now I have already started. I've gone to check how much for the hall is 1.5 million. And now the thing is this: by next year, who knows? The price of the hall may increase. So what happens is the fact that I'm hooking them down this year and saying, okay, let me pay down this amount of money, all right, and then block out the dates for me, and then they'll go ahead to block out those dates for me. And as I'm making money, I am pushing it. Before you know it, that hall would have been paid for. The thing about me is that I am always working hard on myself to raise money. Like December is coming right now, and I want to give you some strategy here. December 25th is coming, and I decided I'm going to, take all my courses that I created and make them 2,000 naira each. And I have already opened a WhatsApp group. And guess what? Yesterday, I said to myself, let me reach out to new audiences. So what I did was I was just scrolling through WhatsApp status, and I compiled a message and I sent it to the first individual. I sent it to 5 individuals, and I said, introduce my name, even though they know who I am. I introduced my name. I said, my name is Emeka Nobis. I'm a trainer. I do this, I do that. Would you mind me advertising on your status for a fee? And we're like, Dawn reached out to me. Oh, geez, no, I'm not charging you. Just do it and all that, And it was amazing. And before I knew it, that group is filling up by itself without me doing much marketing, like on my other channels. So when it comes to that December 25th now, on that morning, I'll change all my prices. Who knows? I may raise 2 million, I may raise 3 million, I may raise 4 million, as the case may be. And I can take that money and I go pay for this, do that, drop that for an event that is in July. Do you get? So that's one of the ways that I plan. Thirdly is build a personal brand. Now I'm going to test my personal brand for the first time next year. I'm going to call for sponsors because I know that over the years they've been seeing me do stuff. So I can say, okay, sponsors, do this. You are going to have this. I'm still thinking, and I believe that sponsors are going to come, even if it's 5 or 10 or whichever number, and then they're going to help in this. So these are some of the things I want to share with you regarding next year. I'm doubling down on creating as many digital products, buying a camera, getting a teleprompter, just sit down and record my courses. So I have as many of these things. So when it comes to Black Friday, you can crash your prices and people will buy in their numbers. During the Black Friday, I had people buying, people were buying up to 50,000 naira in one fell swoop. Some people did 20K, some people did 30K, like that. They just bought everything. And so it was amazing. So create as many things that you can sell to raise money for yourself and for your conferences. All right. So the second question I want to ask you before I put other people's, this thing is a very interesting conversation. I'm seeing a lot of questions coming up. The other question I want to ask is, how do you connect with it? Because a lot of people, they see the big names who are coming and like, wow, how. The problem is a lot of individuals don't know how to connect well. Many of them are angry. They come to you and they say, okay, you're a big name. You don't want to help the upcoming. Come and speak for free. Help us, because even the way they will send you message inbox, like you're their mate, you're sending someone an invitation. Yeah. The right thing to do is that if you don't know how to reach the individual, send them message inbox and request for an email so that you can send an official email to the individual that you are inviting. But no. So the thing is, how do you get to connect to these great people, these amazing names, to bring them on the platform? I think people need to learn that.
Okay. Thank you. That question is really a fantastic question. So for me, a lot of all the events I've hosted, most of them I've hosted some of the finest leaders in Nigeria in most of my conferences. Like this year, we had DK Chukwumerije. DK is one of the foremost poets in fact, in Africa. He has done performances, one of the stage play poets. He has done stage play performance in many places. He has been to UK Igbo conference. I hosted a couple of great people. So for me, most of the time, I spend time to build a relationship with these people before I even want to host an event. So some people is when you want to host an event that you reach out to some of these people you want to host. And the thing is, the best time to build a relationship is not when you need it. Build a relationship just because you want to connect with people. There are many of those leaders who have connected with many times, and then it's easy to pull them. Some of them canceled their, like we had Elisha Maman this year. He canceled his schedule. He was invited for a program on the same date, but because I think for more than a year, I had been consistent with him. I've been speaking to him, following him, asking questions, learning from him. And he said, you know what, I canceled that event to be at your event. That's it. So one way to connect with these great people so that they can be part of your event and give you credibility is, number one is, for example, the easiest thing to do is be part of their process. Be part of their process. There's a popular, I connected with, I think, who was that? I think for the conference last year, that was, I think it was, Dr. Linus. In 2018, that was the first time I met him. 2018, Dr. Linus is one of the finest leaders in Africa right now. He rose with the big boys in leadership. Brian Tracy, John Maxwell, I'll name them. In 2018, he was planning to contest for, I think, governor in 2019 elections. I volunteered for the conference he did in my university in Futo. I was part of the team, so I mobilized people. That was in 2018. Mobilized people. I even interviewed him on the red carpet. After that meeting, I connected with him. After that, I started following up on him. I started attending some of his sessions. Whenever he's in town, I show up. Even when he contested for election, I was an integral part of the process. I've attended some of his meetings. I used volunteering, serving, to become friends with him. And then, we got talking. We had conversations. When it was time to invite him for my conference, I reached out to him and I said, "Sir, we want you to be in our conference." We reached out, we sent a mail, we did all that. And I had the privilege of bringing him to my conference, making him speak because of that relationship and connection, because I served him. Some people, you can connect with them by attending their training, as simple as it is, buying their book. I remember how I became close to Mr. Emeka Nobis. I think it was, I think I met him at an event in 2019 at the Owerri Tech Hub. That's where I met him for the first time. And I used the last money in my account, 5,000 naira, by Bank Alert. That was it, Bank Alert. That was the first time I met him physically, 2019. No, I met him for the first time in 2018. So Emeka, I don't know if you remember. You came for one conference like that in Futo. I have the picture here on my phone. I wanted to even show you. I have the picture. I met you in 2018. But at that time, I had not connected with you very well. So I met you in 2019 again, and I bought Bank Alert. And that was when you accepted my friend request on Facebook. So I'm just sharing a practical example. And from that time, we started talking and we started engaging in conversations. And I met you again. I bought some of your books. We invited you for our conference. And because of the relationship already, I remember when you were planning to do Dominate tour in March 2022, I think I gave access to our database for our conference. That was for the conference we did last year. That's it. I'm just sharing an example with Uncle Emeka Nobis because that's it. So for some people, connect with them with through their trainings, through their books, be part of what they do. Attend their meetings. I remember how I traveled from Owerri to Abuja to Gotney just to learn from Dr. Linus Okore physically. I traveled from Owerri to Abuja. It was a very, very wonderful journey. At that time, there was even flood all over Nigeria. So I experienced a very traumatic journey. But I went there to meet with him physically. That's the price you pay to connect with people like that. and you see that things are just easy. So many people see me bring big names to my conference, and they're just surprised. We brought the Nigeria Idol guy this year for my conference. He attended one of my programs in 2020, Progress. At that time, he was just a normal teenager who was just dreaming big. I was part of his success. So I remember how I was giving him materials to learn, and I inspired him. He did the auditions, and there it was. So when I invited him, he came. So just wrapping this up, be part of, serve people. Any great person you want to connect with, build a relationship with them before you invite them for your conference. Serve them, volunteer for them. I think I heard Elisha Maman saying something about one of my friends who, Elisha Maman was doing a conference in his city, and he was not in the city at that time. He mobilized his team and said, "Sir, don't worry, I will bring my team. They will come and support you." So his team members handle videography, they handle volunteering, everything. So Elisha Maman was so happy and was saying, "How can I pay you back?" That's it. That's one way to create an impression in the heart of these people that you want to connect with. And the truth is, when you start to have relationship with these great people, connecting with other great people will not be a problem. So that's it. Serve people, be part of what they do, pay for their products and services. That's one way to connect with them. They get interested in you, they start asking you questions, and before you know, you connect with them, and then the relationship starts. And you learn how to nurture quality relationships, honor those people, send text messages, honor them, simple as it is. Yeah, somebody's asking, what's the fee for the course? Can I answer that? Okay. Yeah, the fee for the training is 50,000 naira, but I'm doing a discount this December. So for everybody who wants to pay for this training can pay 10,000 naira. Yes, so instead of 50,000, you can pay 10,000 naira, and this is after December, the price goes back to 50,000. So that's a fee for this training. And then if you really want to host your event successfully, jump on this as immediately. Don't waste any time. I'm going to be doing this again by this time next year, December 2024. So I will not have the opportunity to answer any questions whatsoever. This is the moment. This is the time. I will only attend to people who pay for this training. So instead of 50,000, pay 10,000 naira now to be part of this. And then when you pay, you also have access to my book, my physical book, print book on leadership, personal leadership, Leading You. You have access to that book, on a discount, a massive discount. And you also have my blueprints, templates for proposals, templates of letters, templates on how I've done my conferences. You're going to have access to them. And then mentorship. You're going to have access to mentorship. You will call me by 2 a.m. I'm going to pick your call. Call me by 1 a.m. I'm going to answer your call. I'm going to be there to guide you all through the process. Of hosting your own event. Okay. Okay, Becca, can I call the account number here?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Unmute your mic. Go ahead.
Okay, so do you? I'm trying to get. Let me get it. That account details. Okay, so the account details, I'm going to call it now. The account details 062 034 9508. The name is Stylish Leaders Consults.
Just call it
GT
again.
Bank. 062 034 9508. The name is Stylish Leaders Consult, GT Bank. GT Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank. 062 034 9508. So that's the account details to make payments. So once you make payments, just send a message, send proof of payments to 070 63 55 1231. 070 63 55 1231. So make a payment of 10K now instead of 50K. 10K is the discount price to get access to this 3-day training. It's going to be immersive.
All right, guys. So the thing is on the screen right
It's
there.
going to be
So
practical, and I'm going to
It's
guide
right
you
there on
how
the
to host your
screen.
next conference.
all
Okay.
right. Yeah, I prefer to call it profitable conference course or class or training, whichever. So 062 034 9508 GT Bank Stylish Leaders Consult. All right. So go ahead. Instead of 50K, do 10K. We have done 1 hour 48 minutes. This was supposed to last for only 1 hour, but because of the beauty of the conversation tonight, we have done 1 hour 48 minutes. Guys, was this session worth it? If it was worth it, let me see your comment in the comment section as we begin to bring this session to a close. Was this worth it? Let me see your comment in the comment section if this session was worth it. Put in your comment, describe in one sentence how this session was. Describe in one sentence how you see Samuel. All right, in the comment section. Let's see you guys. Go ahead right now.
Anyone who has that privilege to pass through photo is destined to be great.
It is better to train a goat than to train a human being.
It was my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who defined leadership as the ability to inspire or state right a group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation.
Everybody was seeing my fine suit, but nobody knew that it was 100 naira I had in my pocket.
You can live without mentoring, but you can never mentor without leadership.
You can be a solution to any problem, even the one that your background brings to you.
So you want to find out where am I going in the future? Who would I want to become in the future? It doesn't matter the background that you come from.
How do we? It is our blood that gives value to our nation. For as long as you are unwilling to shed your blood for your country has no value.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Samuel. All right, thank you. Some guys are writing about the experience tonight. Chidi Anyanwu was so quite detailed and highly informative. Amazing. It was really worth it. Thank you, everybody. Yes, it's 08 that ends the details. 062 034 9508 GT Bank Stylish Leaders Consult. All right. So that's the place to make the payment, and you can be enrolled into the training, into the, if I were you, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a trainer, this will be very valuable to you. All right, so Sam, give us your final words as I bring this session to a close.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So for me, I'm just going to say that to everybody here, conferences, events, meetings are a very, very important way to, inspire people to do something different. It's one way to give people clarity. I started to do leadership development. The passion became so intense after I attended a meeting. It was just one conference in Owerri. There was this man, Engineer Undubisi Uba, who was invited to speak at that conference. He spoke about the topic, the reformed man. I can never forget it because when he was speaking, it was as if he was speaking to me. The conference was organized by ROCF, Redeemed Christian Fellowship, in my school at that time. I think I was in 2016 or 17. And that session, immediately he was done, I left the hall. I was crying. I went back home and I was asking myself questions. After connecting the dots, I discovered that this is something I was passionate about, speaking and leading. And that was it. One conference inspired me so much, triggered something inside of me. And I started to take the step. Somebody here who is watching this, one event you are going to organize, just that one event, just for 10 people, maybe for 20 people, maybe for 50 people or 1,000 people, just one conference can be the game changer for somebody in your community, for somebody around here in Nigeria, anywhere in the world, anywhere. Just one conference, one meeting. You can be the catalyst, the person that makes things happen. So today, now in the UK, but his impact in my life, I have not forgotten about it. I'm talking about it now today to you. And people know about me. What if I do not attend that conference? There's somebody who must attend your meeting to be inspired. You are here, you teach digital skills. Somebody needs to learn the skill from you. Organize a conference, organize a meeting. And this training is what you need to understand the concept of hosting successful events. Events are very powerful. Be the agents of change in the life of somebody. Host a successful event in 2024. Register for this training and make it happen. Thank you so much. I want to see your success.
All right, guys. So his name is Samuel Isiwu. All right. Let me bring up his name so that you can see his name. His name is Samuel Isiwu. So go ahead and check him out on Facebook. So if you have made your payment and you feel that you cannot send via WhatsApp, all right, follow him on Facebook. Okay, his name is Samuel Isiwu, and you can send him a message. So make your payment, as we said, and send him a message, and he can reply you and onboard you. All right. Somebody's saying I should come to Kwara. Oh, well, I'm sorry. For next year, I will not be doing a lot of tours. My guy, I am going to be 44 next year. So I am going to tone down on a lot of movement around, especially. So I'm going to be back in the city of Port Harcourt, creating a whole lot of virtual experiences for a lot of people. So I'm also going to be doing my coaching experience. If you want coaching sessions, if you want to be part of it, please be part of it. I'm not going to be doing a lot of traveling next year. I just came back from Obumo show, which is close to Ilorin, isn't it? 3 hours away from Ilorin. I was there, and so I'm back. So I don't think I'll be doing a lot of that next year. So if you want to enjoy my sessions next year, join me online, and you can get a lot of value. So please go ahead and follow Samuel Isiwu right now. And as we said, please go ahead and I'll put the detail again on the screen so that you can go ahead and make your payment of 10,000 naira. All right. Okay, guys. So before we leave right now, please just tap the share button on the screen, underneath the screen. If you are on YouTube, if you are on Facebook, if you are on LinkedIn, tap the share button beneath the screen and share this live stream right now as we call it a wrap. Tap the share. All right. So thank you very much, everybody. Tap the share button as I bring this to a final close. Good night, everybody. Good night, Sam, and God bless everyone.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
better to train a goat than to train a human being.
It was my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who defined leadership as the ability to inspire and create drive in a group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation.
Everybody was seeing my fine suit, but nobody knew that it was 100 naira I had in my pocket.
You can live without mentoring, but you can never mentor without leadership.
It can be a solution to any problem, even the one that your background brings to you.
So you want to find out, where am I going in the future? Who would I want to become in the future? It doesn't matter the background that you come from.
How do we? It is our blood that gives value to our nation.